It's no secret that my last video explaining my plans for roller coaster trips did not age well. I only spent 3 days in a row at Valley Fair, had to rearrange the days I went to the Iowa parks, and didn't even get to any of the Missouri parks. The only trip that went as planned was the Cedar Point Six Flags Great America one. It also didn't help that I uploaded it after I made a video for my most anticipated credits of the year. This time, I'm doing the reverse. Most of the trips I will mention in this video could happen at any time during the year because I will be alone. Because of this, I'll just pick a random order to talk about it. I will not mention trips that I speculate could happen. The trips I will mention in this video are trips I know are happening or trips I am going to try to do. With all of that information out of the way, let's get into the video. To start off, the trip I will mention here is the only trip that is certainly going to happen. In this one, I will actually be going back to Elitch Gardens. I never would have chosen to go back there on my own, but this one will actually be part of a marching band trip spanning over a week. I won't get into too much detail about the rest of the trip, but we will be going to this park on the second day, so I hope Mind Eraser doesn't get as rough as other people have described. I will certainly want to re-ride on Mind Eraser to see if my smooth rides in 2023 were a fluke or the standard. I also want to see if I can ride Sidewinder and Twister because they actually look to be decent rides. I can't believe I'm excited to revisit this park, let alone to the level of my excitement for my marching band's trip to Florida in 2022. From here on out, the trips I will mention are trips that I'm going to try to do on my own. I don't know about any possible family trips, so I won't elaborate any further. The first solo trip I will mention here will be my second attempt to go to the Big Three parks in Missouri. This does have one major difference from my plan for last year. This time I will separate each day into driving home after visiting each park. Since my last video of this kind, I have learned that it's cheaper to pay for gas for my car than reserving hotel rooms. With that, I'll have to leave at 3 to 4 in the morning each day to reach each park at a reasonable time. Other than that, this series of trips is the same as the one I wanted to do for these parks last year. While those trips may have broken up 3 parks from a single trip, the next one I'll mention combines 3 parks into a single trip. In this one, I will be visiting Bay Beach, Little America, and Lost Island in one day. The major difference here is that these parks are small enough that I could get everything I wanted done in a couple of hours each. To start this trip, I'll leave home at around 5 in the morning so I can get to Bay Beach when it opens, assuming it opens at 10. I'll want to spend an hour there, so I'll likely spend $5 to $10 for my rides. After that, I'll drive 3 hours south to Little America to get the credits there. I don't think I'll try to get re-rides, so I'll likely spend a maximum of 2 hours there. Once I'm done at Little America, I'll drive 2 hours southwest to Lost Island. The reason I chose this order instead of the reverse was so I could spend as much time as I wanted at Lost Island rather than forcing myself to leave to go to the other parks. I don't know how much time I'll need to ride everything I want to at Lost Island, and I want to get some night rides, which is why I chose it to be last. For the next trip I'll mention, I'll be spending a day at Six Flags Great America. It's a pretty simple trip. I'll leave around 4 in the morning to get to the park when it opens for the day. Once I'm done riding rides for the day, I'll head home. My main objective for this day is to ride Rakshasa, Goliath, Raging Bull, and Max Force. I'll be happy if I get on those 4 roller coasters. If I ride the top 4 there, I'll try to get on some of the others, but I wouldn't mind too much if I didn't. Going into another multi-park day, I'll be visiting Michigan's Adventure and Indiana Beach in one day. First, I'll start by driving to Michigan's Adventure at 2 in the morning. It takes 9 hours to drive there, but the time zone change will make me lose an hour, so I'll need to account for that. I don't know if Indiana Beach is in the Eastern time zone, but I know Michigan's Adventure is. If Indiana Beach is in the Central time zone, I would gain an hour of the day by going there for Michigan's Adventure rather than losing an hour of my time at Michigan's Adventure. If Indiana Beach is in the Eastern time zone, I would lose no time starting at either park. That's why I chose to do Michigan's Adventure first. At Michigan's Adventure, I'm just going to get the credits and leave. Aside from rewriting Shivering Timbers, I see no reason to stay longer. I'm likely going to spend the rest of the day at Indiana Beach once I get there. I don't know if I'll be able to ride everything there, but if I am, I'll still stay because there's more roller coasters here that I may want to re-ride than at Michigan's Adventure. The last trip I'll mention in this video will be my trip to Cedar Point. This will easily be the most difficult trip for me to pull off this year, but I am going to try to do it. I'll need to wake up at 10 p.m. to leave to go to Cedar Point. I'll just have to go to bed extremely early. It's in the Eastern time zone, which makes me lose an hour, and I want to experience early entry, so I'll need another hour, which leaves me with 10 extra hours for driving. Thankfully, since it will be nighttime, driving through Chicago shouldn't be too difficult. My main objective at Cedar Point will be to ride Siren's Curse and the coasters I missed in my last visit, Wild Mouse and Top Thrill 2. After that, I'll want to get plenty of re-rides on some of the other roller coasters, so I'll want to get a fast lane. This is the only park I'll visit this year in which I'll actually need one to ride everything I want to. That will wrap it up for my plans this year. I know it's a lot, but nearly half of it was supposed to happen last year. With that said, I hope this video doesn't age as poorly as my last video of this kind. Before I sign off, I'll lay out some criteria for my plans. I want Time Traveler to be my 100th credit, and my trip to Cedar Point to be the last one I do. Other than that, I don't really care about what order I do. With all of that out of the way, it's time for me to go now. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.